With so many different coolers in the market, with wildly different prices and features, it might be hard to decide which one to buy. So in this video, I'm going to be putting a few of them to the test and see which one performs the best. And we'll be answering the question, do you really need the most expensive and best brand, or will cheap ones perform just as well? Hi guys, my name is Michael, and today we'll be comparing 6 different coolers against each other. In Australia, it can get pretty hot, and we like to have a few cold ones. So I want to know which insulated stubby cooler is going to keep my beer the coldest. So I've been seeing a lot of these double insulated stubby coolers on the internet, and I want to know, are they really better than a $10 stubby cooler? And if so, which one's the best? So I got on Google and bought the 6 most common insulated stubby coolers so that I could test them against each other. And to find out if the most expensive is really better than the cheapest, and if they're even worth the price tag. Okay, so I'll be comparing the following coolers at 10-minute intervals for 2 hours. So stick around and see which one I thought performed the best. So starting at the most expensive to the cheapest, we have Huski, coming in at $44.99. The Yeti at $39.50. The Alcoholder at $29.95. The Arctico at $24.95. The Polar Can at $19.95. The Thermos at $14.99. A standard cooler at $10. And our control can. Okay, so I'll be placing all these coolers in my shed while I'm doing the tests, so the ambient temperature should be pretty consistent. Righto, so I'll be recording the temps at 10-minute intervals for the first 2 hours. And I think that the first 30 minutes will be the most important, as that's around the same time that it'll take to drink a normal drink. Okay, so let's get started. Quick disclaimer, the thermometers I used were up to a degree different or so from each other. So take this test with a grain of salt. I adjusted the temperature readings to try to be accurate, but at the end of the video, I will show the original results. After 10 minutes, most of the coolers are close, with Huski, Yeti and Arctico in at 0.2 degrees, and Alcoholder coming in at second at 0.3. Polar Can third at 0.4, and fourth place is Thermos at 0.7. The stubby cooler is at 2.7 degrees and the control is at 3.9. After 20 minutes, first place is Arctico at 0.3 of a degree, second is Huski at 0.6, third is Yeti and Alcoholder at 0.7 of a degree, and fourth is Polar Can with 0.9, fifth is the Thermos at 1.6 degrees, and the stubby cooler is at 5 degrees and control is at 8.9 degrees. Okay, so at 30 minutes, what I think is one of the most important times, as I think you would be finishing your drink around now in real life situations. First we have Arctico at 0.7 of a degree. Second is Huski and Yeti at 1.2 degrees. Third is Polar Can and Alcoholder at 1.4 degrees. And fourth is Thermos at 2.4 degrees. While the stubby cooler is at 7.2 degrees and the control is at 13.7 degrees. So that's a decent difference of 13 degrees between the control and the Arctico. Now after an hour, things have moved around, and in first place, it's still Arctico at 2.8 degrees. That's only a difference of 2.8 degrees after an hour in 30-degree heat. Second, we have Polar Can at 3.5. Third is the Yeti at 3.6. Fourth is the Alcoholder at 3.9. These are all pretty close. Then we start to move away a bit, with fifth place being Huski at 4.8 degrees, and sixth place is Thermos at 6.7 degrees. The stubby cooler is at 13.7 and controller is now at 22.3 degrees. At 90 minutes in first place, it's still Arctico at 5.7 degrees. Second is Polar Can and Yeti at 6.2 degrees. Third place is Alcoholder at 6.9, and again falling behind is Huski at 11.4 degrees. Fifth place is Thermos at 12.9 degrees, and the Stubby Cooler is now at 19.2 degrees and Control is at 26.3. Okay, so after the full 2 hours, in first place we have the Arctico at only 8.8 degrees. Second place is Yeti and Polar Can, only 0.2 degrees behind at 9.1. And in third place is the Alcoholder at 10.4 degrees. Then in fourth place we have the Huski and Thermos, both coming in at 15.9 degrees. That's 7 degrees warmer than the Arctico. Okay, so after all that testing, I think that we worked out that the most expensive doesn't really matter, and that some cheap ones do a pretty good job. So after 30 minutes, which I think is the main time that we should be looking at, the Arctico was first at 0.7 degrees, second place was the Yeti and Huski at 1.2 degrees, and third place we had the Polar Can and the Alcoholder at 1.4 degrees. During all this, the Stubby Cooler was at 7.2 degrees, and the Control can get up to 13.7, which is a 13 degree difference, and that's like quite a lot. So these are doing a pretty good job. And then after 2 hours, the top three was the Arctico, still coming in first at 8.9 degrees, followed closely by the Yeti and the Polar Can at 9.1 degrees, which is only 0.2 of a degree difference. Third was the Alcoholder at 10.4 degrees, and coming in last was the Huski and the Thermos, coming in at 15.9 degrees. That's 7 degrees warmer than the Arctico, which is quite surprising because I actually thought that the Huski would do a lot better than the Thermos, as it's quite thin-walled, and the Huski is quite well made and quite thick. But these all still did quite well compared to the Stubby Cooler, which came in at 22.4 degrees, and the Control, which was at 27.9 degrees. So with all that being said, I wanted to keep the length of this video down, so go ahead and click on this video here to check out my actual review on each of these Stubby Coolers. Also, the results of this temperature test don't actually reflect my top 3 favourite Stubby Coolers. So go ahead and click this video to find out what I really think of these coolers.